this film is it's basically about I think they call it the Great Migration. It's a black
Hmm.
family. They're moving from North Carolina to Los Angeles, and it's
Yep.
a perfectly built estate. And obviously, they sort of turn up at the estate. They're like all the other neighbors. This is the 1950s, so they're all like
Yeah.
Oh,
our
okay.
neighbors.
So
Oh,
what era is
yeah.
this?
So this is
50s.
1950s with all the. So it's got the nice cars, but this is like a perfect estate. And anyway, so they
It
sort of.
it always made me think of when I saw bits. It made me think of Suburbicon. You know, the George Clooney movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
made me
No,
think.
it's a little bit more. There's a little bit more to it than this. So
Okay, cool.
also, there's something that happened when they lived in North Carolina with the House's family. Basically, it's a husband and wife, and two daughters. And there was something, they did have a son, which something rather nasty happened to. But anyway, so they decided to move away. And they've all got these like imaginary people or ghosts that sort of turn up. So each of the so this one the older girl has got like when she goes to school, she's got like an imaginary friend who's like, oh, you're really pretty, but there's something quite sinister about. And the wife has got this priest that turns up. The husband's got this, well, I don't know what you'd call him, like some New Orleans dude with a top hat, and so he's got, and the little girl's got this madam that she's reading this book, and like a strict teacher that smells, and so they've all got these I don't know if you'd call them little demons that sort of live with them, and obviously it's to do with trauma that happened to him through the past.
Yeah.
The dad had gone through the First World War, um, and also and then so they got these stories, and obviously they're very very much disliked by the rest of the neighborhood who decide to they want to get rid of them. They want to.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it starts off fairly sort of subtly, and then becomes much more in your face of them trying to get.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
lots of incidents happen, and the girls do some disturbing things, and the characters that turn up, as I say, each has got their own. I guess you'd call them a guilty conscience, and there's something that happened in the first that carries on towards the end. What you find out in the last episode. There's one
Yep.
episode and there's one of the episodes which I think is episode 10, where it's very much goes back in time to what happened to this preacher who wanted basically to get rid of all the black people and does something rather nasty. Yeah. So but way back in like the 1800s,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and obviously for some of the things that would happen, you would say that in this is where this particular incident happened, and they'd sort of covered it over and built on it. So you've got a little connotations, yeah. So this was really intriguing. I had to, and oh yeah, the other stories as well. With there's this other story, the sort of main wife, should we say, of the people that live on the state that comes up with all these horrible ideas. There's something the milkman likes her. She likes a milkman. She disappears, and I won't say what happens, but the family get blamed for it. Family get blamed for this disappearance. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what have you done? And yeah, I mean, it's quite intense. It's quite,
Yes.
and it's a real commentary on what they call the Great Migration, because there's other black families in it, because the wife goes to visit um, other people that have moved into that area,
Yeah.
which happens to be Compton. But yeah, this it was intriguing. It was for me, which it's not normally my cup of tea. It's not normally my cup of tea,
Yeah.
and yeah, maybe it did lull in a couple of the middling episodes, but it was something that I had to watch. It just kept me gripped. It just kept me.
All right.
It kept me. Yeah, I saw. Do you ever get in those things where I want to see what happens next? I want to see what happens next. I want to see what happens next. And it ended. There must be some more series, I think, because it ends in a really, really quite interesting way. So, the last
Well,
episode,
yeah. I was just actually looking that up, and there's two seasons of it, but
right? Okay,
but it's like an anthology. So the second season is actually set in the 90s.
right. Okay.
Yeah. So wherever that story ended is where it's ending.
All right. So that's ended that story,
Yeah.
right? So this will be a different one then. Oh well, that's okay then. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I found this really, really quite intriguing, quite sinister, quite well thought out, well
Hmm.
acted. I thought the actress or actor they call them now, where you played the little girl was really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really convincing of like this this horrible, smelly, witchy sort of thing. Yeah, I was, and it was a great social commentary of what it would have been like around that time, and you can actually feel. So you think, yeah, I can imagine it actually,
Like
being like
you
this.
just
And
feel
yeah,
uncomfortable.
you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, made you feel uncomfortable when it's people, which I was uncomfortable enough. So this made me feel even more uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
anyway, no pun intended. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought this was good. It kept me intrigued. Interesting. I guess what the person who did this didn't do that us, did they? Because no, no,
Because
no. Oh,
it wasn't George. It wasn't Jordan Peele.
ah,
Although it did it. There are there are similarities with this because
yeah. I thought that.
I remember when this first
And Get
came
Out.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when this first came out, and I saw them, I saw it and everything like that, and I thought that's probably going to be very good. I'm not going to watch it because because there are bits where it comes to like things about black trauma and that.
yeah,
And I have to admit, at the moment, there's only so much I can watch.
yeah. For sure.
There's things I'm like, I'm happy this exists. It needs to exist. It should have a place, but there's only so much. This was definitely one of those where I was like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to go
Yeah,
through everything about like where bad things happen to black people. It's it's. I mean, I have enough of that in life. But but yeah, but I'm happy. I'm happy that at least you enjoyed it and it wasn't that it was at least
yeah,
good.
yeah. It was terrifically well acted, and as I say, it was quite, it was quite. Yeah. Just an interesting concept.
So how many stars would you give it?
I'd probably give this one a 4 because I mean
Ooh.
it's not very often I have to keep watching something. I can sort of normally if I'm watching something I'll turn it off and go and make a cup of tea and
Yeah.
come back and finish watching it. But this
Get
was
distracted.
yeah. So I thought, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? So yeah, really interesting. So yeah, quite impressed.
Oh, cool. Good stuff. So 4 stars for them. Well, season one, I guess. Them season one on Amazon Prime.